So we're here painting at the Pittie Dog Grill, and I've got just about an hour, so I'm going to set up, try and get a painting done, 12 by 16.
All right, everybody. So I like to start out my paintings using yellow ochre mixed with Gamsol. This is a really good technique for drawing without having to deal with a pencil. I can block in shapes, I can mask things, I can wipe away easily as well. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you will have noticed that I use yellow ochre a lot to kind of do my underdrawing. I'm now going to go in and just kind of knock in the sky a little bit, and it's a funny, the skies were really funny, so I kind of did this just kind of like wash, if you will. And it's kind of just then going in with a little bit of blues. It was a kind of a weird overcast day, and so just to throw blue or to throw yellow in there on a sunset, sky, it just didn't work. So I kind of just did a neutral color, and I felt that really helped out. Now I'm blocking in the main dark areas, which are the windows. And to be quite honest, later on as I get into this, I kind of freak out inside because I only have an hour. And just to kind of set this up, I had a teacher's meeting, and by the time I found this place, I really only had an hour to paint and get back to my meeting. So I was really pressed for time. It was a beautiful day. I wanted to get out and paint. I was tired of the cold, and I just wanted to, knock in a good painting. Even if I didn't get to finish, I wanted at least to have a good start. So here I am. I'm knocking in these condos, and I can't stand the condos. But I did like the rest of the structures. And one of the things that really drew me into this painting was the riffraff of the telephone wires and all the street lights and the stop signs and all the street elements. And I like that, and this building has that old feature. And I found out this building was actually built a long time ago, and has quite some age to it. It used to be a diner, from what I found out. Now it's a hot dog, diner. Still has that diner feel when I went inside. But this yellow awning was really key and what really drew me to wanting to paint this. So during this first session, I really just kind of want to knock in the basic structure, the elements of it, and kind of hope that I get everything right. I found that in this first pass that the parking lot is really too dark for my taste, but I only have an hour, so I'm just going to try and get in things as best as I can. And it wasn't until day 2, luckily the weather held out, that I was able to go back and fix things. Now here I am, I'm adding some details to the door, and then time's up. I've got to go pack up and then get to my meeting. And now we're on to day 2. I was really excited for the fact that it was nicer and warmer. It was a little bit windy, and the sun did come out a little bit, as you'll see in the second one. And I really wanted to kind of, go back and get the details on this. I felt good about this painting, but not good enough. And so to hit a second session and have a little bit more time, I didn't have a meeting after this. And so I was determined to A, finish this painting, and 2, go inside and try out this delicious food that I was smelling that I didn't get to eat from the first day. So I left hungry the first day. I was kind of disappointed, but hey, I had a meeting, I had to get to, and I maximized my hour. So now I'm kind of going in and I'm knocking in some details, and now I'm going to go ahead and lighten up that driveway. It just was too dark, and here I'm using the brayer. I'm going to knock in things, and that's one thing I'll have to say. I've taken lessons when I've painted multiple sessions where I've had to destroy things. Once you've painted it and it's right, you can go back and paint it again, and be fearless.
One of the things that I like to do is, when I'm painting, is I like to float around. Don't work one area to death. Float around, go here, go there, and then that way things build out evenly. But if you work in one area, then you kind of just, you run out of time.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to repaint some of the parts of the sign and repaint parts of the door. And I'm just going to kind of go through and, rework some things so that it feels better. I knock out and push back a little bit on the sky. And then I'm going to go in and add some more into the awning and really kind of chunk it up a little bit. Now, one tip that I want to share with you if you're doing telephone poles and telephone wires is just do a couple shades darker than what the sky is, and it'll come out. Now, we all know that the telephone wires are black, but if you go in there and you put in a dark color, it's really going to dominate. So just do a couple shades darker. I like to use my palette knife when I make these telephone pole wires, and it really works out. But I don't run it all the way through. I try to get it to disappear a little bit. So I'll kind of load up the paint, start from the telephone pole, and I'll drag it across. And I find that works out really well. And so here I'm kind of reworking the telephone poles. I'm adding the light again and just kind of reworking some things, putting some textures. And I felt really good about this. And I took my time, which I felt more relaxed. That first session, I was super stressed. Now we've got that afternoon sun really hitting hard, and with the thickness of the paint, it's kind of causing a glare. And now you can start to see that shadow creep over. So I've finished in time, and now I'm going to go and get something to eat and share the painting with the owners, Larry. So unfortunately, due to music playing overhead, I couldn't actually play the audio, but as you can see here, they loved it, and it was really great to be able to share this with them. And they were really generous and gave me food. I love that. But I went and also bought some for my family. And so as you can see here, I'm eating the food, and it is really amazing. The fries, I've never had fries like this before. They're kind of like a thick steak fry, but really soft inside and super crunchy. And I needed no ketchup. It was delicious, and the hot dog was amazing. All right, and here is the final painting for you guys to see. Do a little zoom in here for you guys, let you check it out. This was a fun painting, had a great session, wonderful weather. If you'd like to see more of my work, please check me out at my website, liquidmethod.com. Sign up for my newsletter. I send out a weekly newsletter with all my latest works that you get to see there first, and pretty much the only place I really share all of my latest work or past work. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you on the next painting adventure. Have a great one.